The calculation of First Step Act, FSA, time credits by the Bureau of Prisons, BOP, plays a critical role in determining how quickly eligible inmates can transition from incarceration to community-based programs or supervised release. These calculations directly influence inmate placement and the overall effectiveness of the First Step Act's goal to incentivize rehabilitation and reduce recidivism. By accurately and consistently applying FSA time credit methods, the BOP not only ensures fairness and transparency in sentence administration, but also enhances institutional efficiency, promotes public safety, and supports fiscal responsibility through reduced incarceration costs. The following examples will illustrate the Bureau's model to calculate FSA time credits. These examples of varying sentence lengths will provide staff, inmates, and the public an accurate overview of the calculation process. These timelines will show how the First Step Act time credits are calculated, earned, and applied. It is important to note these examples are used to show how the time credit model works. For this reason, the examples are simplified. They do not reflect jail credit, holdover time prior to arrival at the designated facility, Second Chance Act reviews, or any periods of opt-out time. It is important to note that individuals have to serve the time to earn the credits, and they cannot earn additional credits while in the community on time credits. Let's look at an example of an inmate with a 24-month sentence. In this example, the inmate arrived at the designated facility on January 1st, 2025. Within 28 days, the inmate will have his initial classification, or his very first team, during which he will have a risk and needs assessment generated, and he will have been determined to be eligible or ineligible for federal time credits. In this example, the inmate has been determined to be eligible to earn and apply time credits. Since the inmate was sentenced to 24 months, they would have a full-term release date of December 31st, 2026, which is 24 months from January 1st, 2025. Of note, the First Step Act changed language to reflect good conduct time calculations from 54 days per year served to 54 days per year sentenced. So, in this case, the inmate would receive 108 days of good conduct time, showing a good conduct time release date of September 14th, 2026. Now we can show you exactly how these time credits are earned and calculated. First Step Act time credits are earned every 30 days of programming. They are earned at two different rates. If they're a medium or a high pattern score, they earn at a rate of 10 time credits per 30 days. And if they are a minimum or low pattern score and have been for more than 2 assessments, they will then earn at a rate of 15 time credits per 30 days. All inmates come in earning at a rate of 10 days per 30 days of programming. The rate at which they earn is dictated by assessment periods. Every inmate has their first assessment at 28 days, and the second assessment is either 90 days. If their release date is under 1 year from the date of their first assessment, or 180 days if their release date is over a year from the date of their first assessment. For this example, the inmate was a minimum or low pattern at the time of their initial classification, and their second assessment was 180 days from their first assessment. So, as you can see, every 30 days of serve time, they will earn 10 days, and these days are taken off the back end of their release date. 30 days served, 10 days off, 30 days served, 10 days off, until we hit that 7th 30-day increment. At that point, the inmate switches to a rate of 15, so every 30 days served, 15 days off, 30 days served, 15 days off, and so on, until those 30-day increments meet up with the time credits coming off of their sentence. And for this example, that equates to March 23rd, 2026. This is called the First Step Act conditional release date. For this perfect scenario example of a 24-month sentence, this inmate would serve approximately 14 and a half months after earning 175 time credits. Now let's take a look at a 60-month sentence. This is a similar type of example. And in this one, the inmate arrived at his first designated facility on January 1st, 2025. With a 60-month sentence, the inmate would have a full-term release date of December 31st, 2029. In this case, the inmate would receive 270 days of good conduct time, showing a good conduct time release date of April 5th, 2029. This is similar to the example that we looked at previously in that we are assuming the inmate comes in as a low or minimum pattern from day one, which means during his first 2 assessments, he will earn at a rate of 10. So after that 7th 30-day increment, he will start earning at a rate of 15 for every 30 days served. 30 days served, 15 days off. 30 days served, 15 days off. All the way up until the First Step Act conditional placement date of December 2027. The First Step Act conditional placement date is the date at which the inmate can go to a halfway house or home confinement placement. In this example, the first 365 days goes towards early supervised release, showing a First Step Act conditional release date of April 5th, 2028. The remaining 125 time credits go towards halfway house, home confinement, to generate the First Step Act conditional placement date. For this example of a 60-month sentence, this inmate would serve approximately 35 months after earning 490 time credits before going to a community placement. Let's take a look at the exact same 60-month sentence, but this time for an inmate that is 3621 eligible or eligible for the time off for completion of the residential drug abuse program. As you can see, they were designated to their first facility on January 1st, 2025, so their full-term release date would be December 31st, 2029. And when you take away 270 days of good conduct time, that creates a good conduct time release of April 5th, 2029. In this example, the inmate is eligible for the time off under 3621E, which would give them a 3621E release date of April 5th of 2028. And the same premise applies. Every 30 days served, they get 10 days off, 30 days served, 10 days off, until they reach that second assessment, at which time they start earning at a rate of 15. The 30-day increments in time credited off meet in the middle to create their First Step Act conditional placement date of April 1st, 2027. The first 365 days of time credits go toward early supervised release, showing an FSR-DAP conditional release date of April 5th, 2027. For this example of a 60-month sentence, this inmate would serve approximately 27.5 months after earning 370 time credits before going to a community placement. And finally, let's see a 120-month sentence. Just like our previous examples, this inmate arrives at their first designated facility on January 1st, 2025. With a 120-month sentence, the inmate would have a full-term release date of December 31st, 2034. In this case, the inmate would receive 540 days of good conduct time, showing a good conduct time release date of July 9th, 2033. This is similar to the example that we looked at previously in that we are assuming the inmate comes in as a low or minimum pattern from day one, which means during his first 2 assessments, he will earn at a rate of 10. So after that 7th 30-day increment, he will start earning at a rate of 15 for every 30 days served. 30 days served, 15 days off. 30 days served, 15 days off. All the way up until the First Step Act conditional placement date of September 28th, 2030. In this example, the first 365 days goes towards early supervised release, showing a First Step Act conditional release date of July 9th, 2032. The remaining 650 time credits go toward halfway house home confinement to generate the First Step Act conditional placement date. For this example of a 120-month sentence, this inmate would serve approximately 70 months after earning 1,015 time credits before going to a community placement. The Bureau of Prisons' method of calculating First Step Act time credits reflects a consistent and accurate application of statutory and regulatory requirements. Using validated assessment tools, clear program participation records, and standardized calculation procedures, the Bureau ensures that eligible inmates receive the appropriate amount of earned time credits while maintaining the integrity of the system. This approach not only upholds the intent of the First Step Act to incentivize rehabilitation and reduce recidivism, but also ensures fairness, transparency, and accountability in sentence administration across all federal institutions. We are hopeful the illustrations provided can be referenced by staff, inmates, and the public to better understand how FSA time credits are calculated for those in our care and custody.